Hello and welcome to yet another episode of our series on Prajna and intellect. Um, the last episode we closed upon Krishna consciousness. Our main character or the focus character of the book, the third chapter, is Krishna and the great composition based on his messages written by Vyasa, that is the Bhagavad Gita. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is the ninth chapter that we are focusing on. And in the ninth chapter, which comes exactly in between in the middle of the 18 chapters, it is called the Rajavidya Rajaguhya Yogam, the mystery of mysteries, the most mysterious and the hidden secret that the Gita has to unfold. But the Lord Krishna himself holds the key. He is not easily giving it to us. He's letting us sort of read between the lines and glean the meanings and the significance the chapter holds. You could say that this chapter contains the condensed form of all the messages the rest of the chapters hold. The, the crux of the message that we have to convey or we have to understand is that all said and done, man and God cannot be separate. God appears maybe in the form in 100 different forms, or in 1,000 different forms, or as the Hindus believe or the Sanatanis believe that more than 3 million different forms and with equal amount of attributes and shapes. But again, the key issue remains that we have to connect with Him. We have to connect with it, or we have to connect with that universal cosmic consciousness, or the Prajna, and achieve the status of Sthita Prajna. Sthita Prajna, as the title denotes in English, in one word, it may mean equipoise. Equipoise that one should hold in all times and all situations in life, happy and sad, tragedy and otherwise, success and failure, poverty and wealth. I just mentioned a few of the dualities that normal people will face in life. Let's say relationship failure and success in relationships, husband and wife success, husband and wife failures, family breakups, family reunions. All these things should leave one with an equal kind of mindset. How is this possible? Is it possible by birth? Definitely not. Because our state of intellect from the day we were born and the day that you turn 40 or 50 or 60 has gone a long way. The long way that the personality has traversed will undertake also as baggage a lot of karma, so to say, or obligations or complicated memories, as a modern thinker would say. That being the case, how is it possible to maintain equipoise or achieve that state of equipoise? This is where great epics like the Bhagavad Gita and great personas like Krishna comes into function and focus. The focus that Krishna gives here is that he proclaims in many, many places in the Bhagavad Gita. We will come to those places and we will mention and explain, try to elucidate those contexts later in the other episodes to come. But for the time being, the ninth chapter, he says with universal authority because we have equated him as the consciousness that pervades the universe. Vibhu means in many places in our Sanatanic Upanishads and Vedas, the word Vibhu comes. Vibhu means there is no place in the universe where the consciousness does not reach. All pervasive, all touching, all embracing, let us say. The That is the personality of this Krishna consciousness. So this Krishna consciousness, personified as he is, and verbose as he is, as mentioned in the as uh, spelled out in the Bhagavad Gita, he says, "I am the president of the whole universe. Maya adhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam." This is a very key verse that you will identify in the book that we are referring to, in the truth as reality. You can find out in the ninth chapter. I don't remember. I cannot recall the verse number. I'm sorry. But this means, again, the universe is referred to as he is the Adhyaksha. What should we mean when he says that he is the president? I'm Ayadhyakshena. That means he is the consciousness factor which precedes even creation, as we mentioned in an earlier episode. It is proved to be a scientific fact, evidenced by Nobel Prize winning physicists, abstract physicists. After great study and research, they found out that consciousness precedes everything that we know. So, Krishna has taken upon himself, or we have given him the not the benefit, but because he owns everything. He is the owner of the universe. He is the Lord of the universe. So we call him the Adhyaksha for a reason, because without a positive factor, without a presiding factor, nothing can move. Everything in this cosmos is moving. That is why it is called Jagat. Jagat in Sanskrit means moving all the time. I mean, we know that every object in this universe is a spherical ball shaped, and they keep on revolving. They keep on moving. We don't know where. They keep on moving. So, in order to move, there must be some kind of a catalyst force. There must be an impetus for anything to move. This also science approves, without which nothing is possible. So, this impetus may be taken as the meaning when he says Maya Adhyakshena Prakriti. Now, here we should understand, we should add one more word to Krishna's sentence. Adhyaksha as what? As Purusha. The world, as we know, the Vedas and Upanishads proclaim, and even the Tantras and all the Shastras proclaim that it is a combination of the male and the female factor, the X and the Y factors, you may call in science. That being the case, Purusha, or the male factor by itself, or consciousness as my friend and a modern thinker and an exponent of Gita calls it uh, an undifferentiated soup. Whatever you may call, nobody knows the shape of it, nobody has measured the compound structure of it, but you could say that it is a nutrient rich mixture where all possibilities exist for further creation, multiplication, and proliferation. A proliferation can take place only where there is a union of factors, X and Y factors. That is why the world is now, universe is now conceived as a combination, or a collaboration between the the nature as Prakriti to translate, and Purusha. Purusha actually literally means the male, man, and Prakriti is feminine. With the Purusha alone, with the male factor alone, nothing can happen. There must be a moving force, an impetus, or a child like a Shakti, if I may use the term, a chemical term, or the catalyst. That impetus should be there. And that impetus is provided by Prakriti. Prakriti runs the world. Prakriti, as if runs the world with all its magic and maya. And, inadvertently, I introduced the word maya. It just came out of my mind, or it came out of my mouth. But again, that has caused a lot of confusion in the world of spirituality as we know it today. But in consciousness, another different definition of consciousness, you may say that if there is no consciousness, there is nothing. There is void if there is no consciousness. If you remove consciousness from the equation, only void exists. You may not even call it dark matter because dark matter is matter. A vacuum is matter itself. So, with if we equate Purusha with consciousness, or the male factor, or the consciousness factor, if we remove that, nothing exists. There is nothing. Shunyam, zero. But if there is Prakriti in operation with Purusha, there we have the birth of a universe of plurality, universe of multitude of beings, universe of multitude of existences, including illusions in physics, in reality also. You cannot call a truthful reality that which is classified as an illusion. For example, we believe that the sun rises in the east, moves across to the west, and sets in the west. Is it reality? No. Science has disproved it as a superstition, and it has moved uh, mankind to a state of reality to believe that it is the earth that keeps on rotating in its axis that creates night and day. Similarly, with a lot of other things that we used to consider as truth has now been debunked and proved to be non existent. Such fallacies can be classified as the domain of Maya. Maya is the concealing factor, so to say, which conceals reality from our eyes and minds and ears. In the first episode, I tried to show you how the senses can fool us. With a small experiment of a chickpea in your palm, you can understand that what you see or what you touch actually it may not be the state of things. Reality might be different. So what is reality actually? That may constitute the basic search for man to understand universal consciousness, and in the process we give a body and we give a persona to this consciousness and call it Krishna. Why Krishna? Because we have, as I mentioned earlier in the previous episode, we have innumerable volumes and volumes written about Krishna, making him a reality. Experiences of great devotees of Krishna, like the poet that I quoted last time, brings forth the fact that for the sake of convenience at least, it is better to have a universal personality accepted with the worldwide as a guru. The guru, as appears in the Bhagavad Gita, is not just a two-dimensional personality, not a two-dimensional feature, but can be taken. I take the book as a living guru. That means to involve another person or a third person that is apart from you and Krishna, you and Bhagavad Gita, would be a supernumerary actor. It is not necessary if we have the time and the patience and the interest and the passion to study the Gita. You will understand that at the completion of the study or at the end of the 18 chapters, you will agree with Krishna that it is better to believe him, believe the book, believe the message of the Gita than search anywhere else. Almost all questions and suspicions and doubts of Arjun have been cleared and answered to conclusion, to satisfactory conclusion, even of the scientist. With that, let us conclude this episode. Until we meet again, thank you very much for your time.